Hi everyone, welcome back again. So I want to take another deep dive into SCOTUS. So I'm going to use the Kipper, but I'll do a grand tableau and use a Lenormand mat. And I've got a list of questions here that I'll go through and show you the cards that I'm assigning as to certain people. So anyway, bear with me and I'll bring you over to my table and we'll get this going. Hold on. Okay, so first I have to tell you my plan here. So the Lenormand has 36 cards, so I'll have 36 houses here to work with. But the Kipper has 39. These are the extra 3 cards. And I do want to create signifiers, which are the people that we will be referring to. So because we don't have a main male or female for this reading because we're reading on a group of people, I'm going to take these 2 cards out, okay, and use two of these 3 that I have left over. And I do feel like community should be a signifier for us voters, and poverty could be a signifier for their funds getting cut off by a congressional act that can, a congressional bill that can, well, it's already a bill that's in there. Congress can defund past allocations to SCOTUS's budget. So that's the deal. So I think this is the other one that I'll just leave out, is the toil and labor, because like I said, I have to leave out 3. Okay, so let me get the cards shuffled and put the question and the intention into the cards. So yeah, the middle-aged man, the mature man, the guy, the dude over 50, that's going to be the stand-in card for Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Dick Durbin, Richard Blumenthal, Sheldon Whitehouse, Jamie Raskin, and any other supportive congressman to the Democrats. And it could be some dude over from the Republican side after 2025. Who knows? We'll see about that. But, anybody who would be, any congressman who would be supportive of the congressional statute over SCOTUS. So ethics and then having stricter laws over these guys. The mature woman card will be the stand-in card for all mature women, women over 50 who support the cause, of course, right? So we're talking, and I'm also including within that the 3 SCOTUS members. So we're talking Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Elena Kagan. And then the younger privileged lady, she'll be the younger, like, wealthy lady. That would fall under 50 years old. So we're talking AOC, Jasmine Crockett, any other congresswomen under 50 years old supporting the Democrats. And then the wealthy man under 50, I'm thinking maybe Jared Moskowitz, I'm not sure. But any supportive younger men. Oh, Eric Swalwell, he's another one. That would definitely handle it. Yeah. So, okay. What is the future? How will it go for SCOTUS after January 21st, 2025? Maybe we'll be getting rid of the shadow docket, where decisions and rulings are made out of the public view in hiding, and I have a card for that in mind. Will we be adding justices? Will the ethics rules be enforced and the congressional statutes? Will a couple of dudes be leaving? That will tell by which cards fall in. The Scythe House, the Coffin House, something like that. We'll see. And then, the answers seem to come through in layers. And I apologize if the lighting is going in and out. It's one of those really beautiful cloudy days where it's a lot of bright blue sky, but then dark clouds and light clouds too. So anyway, okay. How will it go? Okay, right there. Okay, so there's teamwork, the movement in teamwork, and darn it, you know, one of these days I guess I'll just trim these cards down because they're too big. They don't fit. They don't fit, but if I use a different deck, I have different Kipper decks, but if I use a different Kipper deck, you guys won't, you're used to this deck, and you'll be like, what is she doing? All right, let me just, I'll have to just, you know, bring them back and forth, so it's going to take longer. I'm sorry about that. But I don't know what else to do except stop and trim all these cards down, which could take hours to trim them down and round the corners and all of that. It's like a major project, and you have to use big, strong scissors that are kind of hard on the hands to get through all of them. So I'll just do my best here. I know the structure of the Lenormand. Whoops, almost got the wrong one there. So it won't be so hard. Okay, ooh, that's interesting there. Ooh. Now the tower in the Lenormand is very different than in the tarot. The tower is our institution. So this, to me, and remember I designated AOC and Jasmine Crockett and any younger congresswoman under 50, you know, we're talking childbearing age, and they're pretty sure they're pretty livid with what SCOTUS has done to with the Dobbs decision and overturning Roe v. Wade, trying to take us back into the dark ages. So yeah, so there's some power coming in there. To have the mature man in the scythe house. Now that could be, remember all those powerful men, because I'm putting the power on I'm not putting the power on SCOTUS with this reading. That was my intention. I should have said that in the beginning. I'm putting the power on Congress, because Congress does have power over SCOTUS. They just need to really do something about it. So yeah, I think I will definitely trim these cards down at some point. But anyhow, back to this one here. Remember, this is all those men I was talking about. Jamie Raskin, Sheldon Whitehouse, Richard Blumenthal, Dick Durbin, and I'm pretty sure Eric Swalwell would be this one here. But they're going to have some powers to make decisions. The scythe card can be about sharp decisions. Oh, that's interesting. Whoa. Okay. Okay, chopstick time. So again, because I'm not using the main male or female, usually you would start a grand tableau by reading around their card, but because that's not the way, when you pull out the main people cards, I'm modifying things. So anyway, I'll start up here with the first 3 or 4 cards, and then I'll do the corners, and then we'll do angles and knighting and all of that. Okay, so to start out the reading with a courtship card, this has to do with teamwork and major communication and negotiations. So Congress in the House of Rider, to have courtship in the House of Rider, this does mean that they will move forward. Key meaning for writer is moving forward and under your own representation, sharing information, taking opportunities into your hands. It's ruled by Mercury and Gemini. We have that superstellium in Gemini this week with the new moon. You guys set your intention for them to come together and communicate and get this stuff going, so that as soon as the house flips to blue, everything can really shift, because before then nothing's going to happen. There's no way. Little Mikey Micro Johnson, our little GOP House squeaker, I should say, he says he's been talking to some of the justices and that they're not happy. So why is he talking to justices? He should not. He's in line to be. He could be in line to. This is a deck I'm using just in case you're new. He could be in line to the presidency. You know, if something happened to both Biden and Kamala. So that's a scary thought, right? This guy has no business being in the position that he's in. And I wonder if there's a way they can get him taken out based on the fact that he went on Fox News and spewed his baloney, but also revealed what's going on. He shouldn't be talking to any of the justices, and they shouldn't be talking to him. So who are these guys, and what did they say? Other than he says they're not happy that Trump is now a felonious convict. I'm remembering total squirrel moment here, but I think you'll find it funny unless you already saw it and whatever. Jimmy Fallon called Don Corleone. I just think that's funny. That's so funny. Anyway, okay. Negotiations will move forward. Teamwork will move forward. Good news could come through and much action will happen. That's opening up the reading. And it has to do with these, because this came in the House of Clover, these opportunistic justices acting as if they need more money, that they don't get enough money from their salaries, and so they have to take all these bribes. You know, they have to be paid off. Oh, and by the way, hold on. Roxanne, I posted, okay, so in Samuel Alito's comment, I pinned Roxanne's list that she put here for us. I printed this out and pasted it together, or I screenshot it and pasted it together. So these are the billionaires who have given gifts and trips to SCOTUS. So Harlan Crow, Paul Singer, Paul Novelli, I guess is an oil baron, David Sokol, oh, I've heard of that guy, Wayne Wazinga? I don't know, you guys tell me. Hilda, how do I pronounce this? Wizinga? Wizinga, I don't know. He died, but his son continues. And then, of course, we all know about Leonard Leo. So, and then she's saying also from reading Crooks and Liars that Judge Cannon's husband is associated with the mob boss Rosati, whom he worked for. And so Trump worked together too. And Saudi Arabia with, I guess, okay. Mob boss, Judge Cannon's husband worked for mob boss Rosati. And he worked with Trump too, and I guess with Saudi Arabia. Okay. Yeah, I guess, and these other things are on Twitter, which I'm not on, so I appreciate when other people tell me. I refuse to be on anything that Elon Musk is involved in, or Mark Zuckerberg, so I'm not on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Okay, so action will happen against these guys that are in SCOTUS, officials that are, there's six of them, but that are in poverty consciousness and taking advantage of people, the opportunistic, fortunate situation that they're in, because this card is in the House of Clover. And then Ship, the House of Ship, which brings in change, and it's ruled by Jupiter and Sag, so this is like a very political and foreign connection house. But it does bring through, one of the key words for Ship is change. So there's change that will happen, but it's going to take quite some time, or the change that will happen will develop over time. Now this card here is, like I always say, it's when you're using it for timing, they say that the card to the right of it could take 1 to 2 years. So having the thief in the house, okay, so literally this would be the, not Congress, this would be SCOTUS, and because they're not the institution would be the tower, but which I'm designating to our Congress and House, our whole Congress, not just the Senate or just the House, but the whole Congress. But to have the thief card come through within the House, so the House is our stabilizing foundation of SCOTUS. Okay, it's like the body and soul of SCOTUS. And they are, most of them, of course, not Sonia Sotomayor, not Ketanji Brown Jackson, and not Elena Kagan. They are not grifting, but the other ones are grifting. So it's going to take time to get this grift. And like Sonia Sotomayor said once, how are we going to get this stench off the bench? That was 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, when they overturned Roe. Now, I did leave this card open so that, because, we're reading, the whole thing is reading on SCOTUS, but here we are with the health, the tree house has to do with a tree house or card, if I were using the Lennies, would be the system of our justice, the system of our, we have 3 branches, right? So here we are. This is the karma. This house, there's a lot in the house of tree, and the card of tree. It's the karma. It's the roots. It's the how we're grounded. It's all about the way we invest, and it has everything to do with. It's ruled by Saturn, so we're talking, our health and our growth and our ancestry, right? When it comes to timing, it could be at least a year, or about a year. So this is lining up pretty well, actually, because to have the adjudication card come through, and I know it should be adjudication, but again, unless maybe I will just draw an A in there, because it's like, what is that? Only if I had the time to make my own deck. Okay, but anyway, another squirrel moment. This is a card of complaints. This is a card of judges, of investigations, people who examine. So Congress will be examining the roots and the groundedness, the karma, they will be going back and looking into everything that they've done, that SCOTUS has done. Wow. Okay, to have the marriage card come in. Oh, I know I've gone too far, but actually, let me just wait on that. And then I'll continue on from there, because we've got quite a story going on here. And some people, I didn't set the intention for timing, but if another one of the rules with the grand tableaus is you can delineate each column for like 1 week or 1 month, So, yeah. And sometimes they use like an 8 by 8 and then 4. But I like the 9 because I like the middle, and then there's more knighting and all of that. I like the 4 by 9 format. So, okay, anyway, to go with the corners, there's a man who's primarily receiving a lot of gifts. I would have to say this would be any male on the bench, okay, who has been receiving gifts. So, man, the cards really lined up. And their social activity will be, I think it's already revealed, but they will, Congress will be acting on them. Now, it could, to read it from the other angle, this could be a very, maybe this would be Dick Durbin, because he's on that committee that could really get things going. But Richard Blumenthal is helping him immensely. And we all know, Sheldon Whitehouse is always uploading, and he has the whole scheme. I think he's up to 32 now. Yeah, like video 32 on the scheme, and it's all about SCOTUS. So watch those if you have time, or here and there, It's kind of dry. It's not really fun, and it'll make you mad, that's for sure. So if you have blood pressure problems or you get angry really easily, don't watch them. So anyway, there will be something coming through about the gifts. There'll be more of that, talked about. There's going to be teamwork from Congress, and there's some very strong, or a couple strong men in the Democratic Party who will be gifting a lot of their time and energy to literally get this going. Okay, and then something new, to have the child card coming through in the House of Bouquet, something new that can create some recovery. The Bouquet card and house is all about recovery, renewal, offers and invitations, and something that can be very surprising, but bottom line is it creates harmony. Now, the Bouquet card is a springtime card, so this could possibly be by spring of 2025, we'll have something new that opens up the visions, opens up, can see the big picture, and then also maybe there's a connection to, because to have Distant Horizons card come through in the House of Cross. Now, the House of Cross sometimes it's about having faith, but it's also our card for, if I, just could show you the card here. I probably should have done that. I could whip out I'd have to get them in order. You know what? Hold on. Let me pause it, and I'll do that really quick because it'll help you guys a lot. Just a second. Okay, so I think I have them all in order. So with the cross, I'll just pull it out from here. Notice how this is a religious symbol. So this could be showing that, there's a few key meanings with the cross, but I'll stick with the religious symbol first. It could be showing that there will be people in SCOTUS men in, one of the six. Well, yeah, I don't know. Amy Coney Barrett has been voting sometimes with the Democrats, or not the Democrat. I can't really say, but I'm pretty sure that Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson are probably Democrats, but voting with their morals. What's her face? Amy Coney Barrett has been sticking with some of the times she's been sticking with the other gals. So I like that. Now, we know she's highly religious, and her husband's working on the dark side, and we know that she's, I don't know. I mean, I don't trust her at all, but anyway, I'll just let that go. Sometimes the meaning of this card is to have faith, and so there could be a message here, or I would say definitely that there is one message that is about having faith in the big picture, having faith in the longing for freedom, having faith in, and it's interesting, they're both the 36, number 36. That's a funny line up there, isn't it? With the Kipper, the true meaning of this card is longing and yearning and hoping. But with the cross, we're dealing with faith and what we really believe in. So if we believe in freedom, like I see with, the artwork on this card, then how about, that's the way to go, that we can hold faith in our freedom. But we always have to work for it. That's the thing, It's also a card of philosophy. So this is about opening the mind, and this does bode well with Pluto and Aquarius, which can be opening the mind, but not for everyone, of course. So anyway, okay, I just wanted to show you that image of, of course everybody can see a cross. In personal readings, I like to look at this as, you on your cross, your arms and your body, and who do you believe in? What are your, morals? And can you take self-responsibility for creating your own life? So anyway, that takes care of the four corners. So just to summarize again, men in SCOTUS, or I'm sorry, men, well, either way, it symbolizes men in SCOTUS who have taken gifts, but it also symbolizes strong, I think it's more about the strong men in Congress who will get together and move forward in order to create new laws to recover and hold on to the big vision. But also with the cross, now that's another key meaning with the cross card is guilt. Okay, somebody who's guilty and under this burden. Okay, so new laws that have been burdened by guilty men who actually are probably tied together with foreign. I mean, they're coming from this harsh evangelistic, I don't know, Christian nationalism, which is part of Putin's agenda and playbook, Putin's playbook. So there's that. So, but anyway, this is, bottom line, this is Congress's cross to bear, is to keep focused on the big picture and to keep other countries out of our politics, out of our Congress. Is ridiculous. So, okay, I left off here, and so just to show you the other houses up here, here's the Rider house, okay, so this is, movement forward, right, you can see that easily. The clover, here's a clover house. It's usually like good luck, good fortune, all of that. I don't believe in luck, but it's all about opportunities. And it also could be the two, because it's number 2, could be the two men who are in the most poverty consciousness, which would be Alito and Clarence Thomas. But, we can bet that there's some other guilty ones in there that have been taking money. The ship here. Easy to see, okay. The house, right, the foundation, and the tree. The branches, this could be all the branches of our government, okay. So, all right, so then to move forward in the house of clouds, okay, so clouds, to have literally, clouds connected to marriage. So this is the darkness that SCOTUS has put on all marriages of childbearing years, or even, not even, it doesn't have to just be childbearing. If you live in a state where OBGYNs have left because they can't practice without putting themselves in great risk, then there's all this darkness and this uncertainty, right? The clouds are all about uncertainty. Not sure. There's something's hidden and you can't see, and you're having to wait, and there's a lot of doubt. So a lot of people kind of just detach, and this would be OBGYNs who would leave and go to another state. But meanwhile, whether you're of childbearing age or not, women have complicated plumbing, and sometimes we need to have hysterectomies or other things that happen. And so, like what if you have something that you need taken care of, and those types of surgeons are gone and into another state? Well, you're screwed, basically. Or you have to travel to another state in order to be taken care of, which is very costly and hard. Can you imagine? Oh, my goodness. So to have the marriage card in that in the House of Clouds makes sense to me, because there's a darkness on marriage. Now, marriage is also business partnerships in the Kipper. It relates to business partnerships too. So I would say that when it comes to Congress, they don't like being in this dark place, and so they will come together, I think. Now, this is interesting next to have in the house a snake. So here's our snake, right? Right. It'll bite. It's all about complications. It's all about some things that's you really have to be careful. There's a danger. There's hidden enemies. It's just, it's a really challenging card, and it's also a card of, you can't see in this card, but usually you see the snake winding around, and so it's a card of detours. So I do believe that to have the sad news message of concern card in the House of Snake, I do believe that Congress really sees the major complications, and they're wise. I believe that they're wise to the, like, what's going on, because the message of concern card is all about the disappointment that they've gone through, and now they're at that place of just a really painful perception of knowing that SCOTUS is not going to abide by any ethics. Alito and Clarence Thomas have refused to recuse, and so they're at this sad place, and it's a crisis. We're at a crisis point, and it's a confrontation. This is a card of confrontation, like you're confronted with something here. So I'm thinking that they might create something that will bring some sad news to some SCOTUS members who are very, very dark. And then they'll be on the other side of it going, uh-oh, right? This could definitely have to do with taking away the money, right? They can defund. Congress can defund SCOTUS. They certainly can. Okay, so then to have imprisonment in the House of Coffin, oh my goodness. So Congress can create restrictions. It'd be impossible, pretty much. I don't know that they would ever lock them up. I don't think there'd be any imprisonment for any of SCOTUS. But this is looking way ahead into the future. There's painful loss and ending, and restrictions placed. There will be placing restrictions because of this painful place that we're all in. That it is complicated, and we should not have to be going through this. All of these laws that we've had have been, and even with POTUS as well, everything has been pretty much on the honor system, and we've relied on the whatever party was in control to control their people, control their, like the Democrats that go in, and we took out Al Franken for almost nothing. And then, who's this other guy, Menendez? Yeah, he's going down hard. And then we're doing that by our, the Democrats are doing that. We're policing, and there's some other guy, and I can't remember his name. Oh yeah, I can't pronounce his name. Kyer? They're looking into him too. Yeah, Cuellar, I think. I haven't read on him, but anyway. So there's that. Now, imprisonment, knights to reputation, high honor. Whoa. So there's something to look at there. The reputation of those who are in power of the money will create, I think, some restriction. So I do think, we have two signs here that look to me like they will, because remember, I'm reading this from the power of Congress. I'm not reading it from the power of SCOTUS, because Congress has control over SCOTUS. So Congress can enact can bring in that congressional statute to make any judge recuse himself. They can create that. And then, because the high honor card has to do with SCOTUS's reputation, and of course, like I said, Congress has power. The power and control. The bear card, hold on, I skipped ahead a little. It's just a picture of a bear. It's nothing. You guys know that, right? But the House of Bear is all about money and power and protection. And, eating in restaurants and things like that. But in the context of this spread, that's what we need to know. The money, power, and protection. Oh, and I forgot to show you. So you did see the snake. Yeah, no, we won't be having to look at that again. Coffin, of course, is there. Okay. And then bouquet, which was one of the corner cards framing the whole thing in, right? Okay. So, but another card that I want to look at. So, imprisonment restriction. Let's just change the name for today. Restriction on those who have been loyally receiving, they've been in committed relationships. So the lover's card, the ring is it's a ring. It literally, it's number 24. There you go. No, that's heart. Ring is 25. So the house of ring is like what comes around. These are allies, commitments, okay? So the commitments are coming from those who are loyal to the cause and want to bring in success, and they do it for, something to come back for them, right? It's like they want something returned. And that's doubly reinforced by it being in the house of ring. So there's restrictions on those loyal rewards coming from, committed allies. My goodness. Okay, so we've covered this row. I think I'll just keep going and talk about the cards in the houses, and then we'll do the knighting. And I won't. Well, you can look at columns if you want. You guys, and maybe I'll just keep my hands away so you can screenshot it and work it yourself too, and add your comments from there, because I probably won't cover everything in it. But I'm trying to get the message. If I can get the same thing coming through, the same message coming through at least 3 times, then I'll know for sure how it's going to go. Okay. Like I was saying, Mature Man is our stand-in card for Dick Durbin, Richard Blumenthal, Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Jamie Raskin, Sheldon Whitehouse, any of those other men over 50 who are working hard. And the Scythe being in the house of Scythe, okay, this is making clear-cut decisions, and I love in this deck, we've got a woman up on a podium kind of like, of course it's all about, harvesting, right? So that's another key word. Harvesting support, okay, that's pretty good. And then the mature woman, and they both came together, one after the other. That's interesting. In the house of whip, so the whip is like this, and it's all about work and repetitive work. So this tells me that the mature men and women of Congress will come together because they're right next to each other. And, he's looking back towards her. They're kind of, they're pretty much facing each other best they could. But repetitive harvest of work that just keeps coming in and coming in and coming in. Now, with the bad health card, both of these are supportive and wise, too. I wanted to say that. With the bad health card coming through in the house of birds. So birds is all communications, and it's also a card of trusting our instincts. It has to do with, just, you don't have to think about it too much, but it can be stressful sometimes. And you would say that it is stressful because we have the bad health card coming in. And it's also the other card that we have close to the birds. This is like having a whole extra layer of cards underneath. So to have the thief card and the poverty card touching the bad health card, I'm thinking that it's stressful for people like Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas, and that their health will eventually take them down. And then we all know, what's his name, Kavanaugh, he's a straight-up alcoholic, so he's probably not going to be doing very well. Remember, I like beer. God. And then he's crying about his dad's calendar he gave him and whatever. God, what a weirdo. So, in inappropriate emotions. Don't you want somebody more balanced on the bench? No, we don't get that. So anyway, bottom line, I feel like the bad health card in the house of birds tells me that there's a down patch coming for SCOTUS in their ability to discern and their ability to make connections with what needs to, their verbal and written communication, although letter, yeah, what's in the house of letter? Where's 27? Oh, yeah, there's the strategy. Well, this, I think, has to do with Congress's strategy to write things up. So that's another good clue right there. And the work card right next to it. That's good. Okay, so, but anyway, back to birds. I think it's just we could use a keyword of instincts and connections, but mostly connections, making connections as to who is taking a lie down when it has to do with the work they're supposed to do, and who is writing up, who's dissenting, who's not, who's writing the text, certain things when they come out, like Alito. Alito pretty much wrote the whole thing that took away Roe v. Wade. That's on him. I posted a link to where he's coming from that ProPublica put out. I put that in the community section yesterday, so you can go there. Okay, the House of Fox. Okay, so here's the birds. The child. Oops. Oh, let's don't go ahead. Almost missed one. So to have the courthouse and the House of Child. The House of Child is about, and it's the same in the Lenormand as it is the Kipper. The meanings are the same. Something new, usually, is what comes through with child, right? Some new beginning is a key word I'm going to glom onto for this one, because it's what applies. So a new beginning for discovery, for the papers to be brought forward. The courthouse card is, this is my SCOTUS card, okay? So new SCOTUSes will be added to the bench here, is what I'm catching. And over here as well, because it's one of the corner cards. Yeah, interesting. Wow. Yeah, the big picture is to add on the bench, to grow more. Right. There should be 13 anyway, right? So, yeah. Okay, I think that's simply it. I mean, because this is my SCOTUS, but, well, it's my SCOTUS card, but it's also a card for legal matters and the judicial process. And, you've got the paperwork, the discoveries that are given. And it's also a card that helps to get out of something that's really convoluted and all tangled up. And it's a card that brings in, to restore balance between the three parties, at least in the USA. Or not three parties, what am I saying? Three branches of government. So I like seeing that. So I'm going to make a little prediction that we're going to add judges to the bench. Okay, now we get to, so that was the House of Child. So now we get to the House of Fox. Everybody knows what a fox looks like. The fox card for key meanings, because again, we're combining cards here, has to do with hidden agendas and working to make, like in a personal reading, and I know somebody is not working in the dark and they're not an assassin and they're not a political, when it's not a political reading, I like to look at this card as like working things to your advantage. But it can be a card for manipulation and lies, but it's also a card like, if, let's say you're going to go out and you're going to maybe a little road trip, or you're just going to go out and you want to you do a little quick Lenny spread and this card comes in, the message with it is watch for speed traps. Okay? So this could be that Congress will be able to trap these people, and yes, it's official, they can trap these dark money takers, right? Now, the official person card is also a card of rules and regulations. So I'm going to predict that Congress will be able to work the system into the advantage of the right way, the way it should be. It's a card. The fox can sometimes be a card of a specialist. Like in a health reading, it could be that you need a second opinion, or you need to see a specialist. So this could be a specialist within, somebody. Well, a lot of them should know all about constitutional law, but this has to do with the rules and regulations that could trap some of these judges who've been on the take. So Congress will effectively be able to trap these guys, is what I'm getting here. Because, and this is another key meaning with this card, is that there's such a need for security. They need to create stability and order. These are key words for the official person card. So yeah, and they'll work it from a lot of different angles with the fox. The fox, being able to work over here, mostly sniffing out. Fox is all about sniffing, so is dog, but sniffing out, they're very cunning. Foxes are super cunning, and they can sniff out, in this case, it would be the hidden agenda. So, wow. Okay, and then we spoke about the bear already. Because this is in the center in this row here, let me take a little break and from the row here, and let's look at the knighting. So again, it's going to take 1 to 2 years, or at least a year. Well, from now, yeah, it's we're talking even maybe less than a year to get it started, but about a year before these rules will come in, because we have to have both the House and the Senate blue in order to get it done. And then there we go. There's the restriction on this painful loss that we've been sitting in for quite some time. And this has been going on for a long, long time. But since Roe v. Wade was overturned, it's been almost 2 years now. So this all makes sense here. The rules and regulations that will be created also knights to the false person that's in the house of mountain. I love this. I don't need to show you the card. You know what a mountain looks like. This is a card of a house and card, if you were just using the Lennies, of obstacles and blocks and stoppage. So these rules will stop these liars and cheaters and scams that Congress, that SCOTUS is indulging themselves in. So that's pretty amazing. And that's also connected to, maybe there's a way that they'll start, for sure there already are rules in place that keeps, they are not supposed to gift. They're not supposed to gift, and they're not supposed to, and maybe we can look at the man as being like it's some type of authority there with Congress, reminding that gifts are not to be given or taken, between, well, definitely not received to SCOTUS or from SCOTUS. They are not supposed to take any type of, they have to declare it, and it's supposed to be, I think, under $1,000 of value. But definitely no, not houses. Oh my God. Not houses, not RVs, not trips, not all this other stuff. And that's just what we know about, right? So I think that more will probably be revealed. And they might get really scared and start getting trying to get clean. What am I saying? Trying to get clean. They might get more and more afeared, as Lori would say, as time moves on. So yeah, okay, and then this angle, looking at the angle here, again, Congress coming together with the rules and regulations and giving alternative plans, and the pathway card is about alternative, but also the pathway house, that paths house, crossroads house, is not only alternate plans, but also a lot. It's a card of a lot. So there's a lot, rules and regulations around that money coming in, right? And the alternate ways that SCOTUS is receiving it. And then this is what's This is what's going to happen to these older, because in the house of Lily, older guys that are on the take, like Alito and Clarence Thomas. Yeah. Oh, and we know Kavanaugh. He's not even that old, but we know that he had his gambling debts paid off. I think it was something to the tune of $192,000 that was paid off, and somebody paid off his house, because he wasn't supposed to show a lot of debt, like right before, before the confirmation. So there's that. Let's see, the other cross here connecting to this official capacity and all of that. This would be the grifting that is against the rules, and there will be a lot of care that goes into, I would say, enforcing the statutes. This card also would be our card of statutes, the congressional statute, to make any judge recuse themselves. Here's the recusal up here, right? But anyway, following this down, this would be the statute, and it's written and it's documented, and they care. Congress cares about the written letter of the law, and then it comes through to the journey card, which is something that comes full circle. And in the house of fish is about money, it's about abundance, it's about flow, and it's about transactions. I don't need to show you the cards that look like, everybody, stars, fish, kind of out of it now. But anyway, journey, it's like, that train's already left the station. They're seeing the money. If we keep going this way, they're seeing the money and that inner circle, right? And then this is us. Okay, I designated this card to be us, voters, and we the people. In the house of sun, sun is all about success. It's yes. The key house is also a big yes, but it's also about solution. Here, just the visual is so nice. And of course, with the sun, but just think of solution to the sudden wealth of some of these people, some of these judges who would just take it in, and now they're being revealed. That's being revealed, being in the house of moon, and their reputation. That's not good. So that's interesting. So this would be that intimate circle of allies, and look how it knights to the Lover's card, and remember in the house of ring, wow. And it also, look how it knights to, this trickery going on. The false person is like the snake in the Lenormand. The key meanings for this card has to do with dishonesty and lies, and people who are jealous and they think that they deserve more than they're getting, that kind of thing. And they're operating, most of all, hidden. The mask back here is very telling, and under false pretenses. And they try to evade the matter all the time, so there's going to be obstacles for them. This would be the judges, and it's going to go right into their inner circle, and that will be illuminated. The moon is an illuminary, just like the sun. We will have success. Their reputation will be seen as being very, well, selfish and, when you put yourself above others type of a thing. It's dark. Yeah. Okay. Success. Ooh, look at this. These two cards knight together. So the rules will be successful for the voters as long as we can get them, as long as we vote, if everybody votes and we get them, get these guys, get the GOP, in alignment, get them out of the House, get them out of the majority is the deal. Because this is dangerous. We're in a dangerous position. Anyway, the women, the female voters, the women have more power than we realize, and we need to make sure that that's taken care of. I mean, that we come together and give and receive what is needed in order to move forward on a new path. Also, women are at risk the way the laws are now because of these guys, because of SCOTUS. Women are at risk for, if there's a health issue, having to spend an awful lot of money in order to take care of themselves. And that is, that brings through a lot of despair. There are a lot of women out there that are like, oh God, what if I get pregnant? That kind of thing. Especially imagine in these states where it's like a 6-week, can't remember what states those are. Louisiana, I think, and Alabama. Just terrible. Okay, so let's see. I think I'll keep going across just to tell the story. I know this is taking a long time, and you don't have to take it all in at once either. We've made it to here. The reputation card in the House of Bear, we challenge, or the High Honor, which is reputation. It's also an achievement, a house of achieve, or a card of achievement. So again, Congress will achieve. Here's another message. I think we're well past the 3 that Congress will achieve bringing in the purse strings, the allocations, removing funding with the decision here to cut the support. There's one there, and to affect change. And being in the House of Stars, the Stars is all about navigating. So navigating change, navigating, creating a system, and with a big network and connections. The House of Stars is. It's really, it's a great, there's so much there. It's about making many connections. It's about intention. So Congress does have intention to create change and achieve change for security. And look how House came in, the House card came in the stork house. So just imagine storks bringing babies and all of that, but also the house is all about stability, security, and things that you can count on that are very reliable. In the House of Stork, it's all about change and improvements. So there's a big message in there. That's really good. Now, Dog is about protection. The House of Dog would bring in something that's helpful, something that, like I said, is protective and loyal, and it's really good. And then in the house, with the card of expectation, this could be a woman who's expecting, and then look how we connect to, we've got the child here, the child card knighting to, or not knighting, but right next, touching the stork. So this is all about women's reproductive safety right here. So this is primarily what Congress has on its mind. That's amazing. I really like seeing that. That's a message that's repeated a few times as well. Okay, to keep going. So this, again, like I said, would be the younger women in Congress. Tower in the Lenormand is about the institution. It's about the rules, the regulations, the boundaries, right? And yeah, the authority, bottom line. So the authority is really on childbearing women. I mean, it's kind of the voting authority. That's great. And then there's also, and how perfect, I'm thinking ahead or thinking behind and reflecting back on that whole Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene, bad built, bleach blonde, bad built, butch body, that whole thing. So now Jasmine Crockett is like semi-famous, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is famous for all the wrong reasons. But this is all right here. Who's really in control? Well, I'm sure that I think sometimes you can trust the polls when they're asking about who's for abortion rights. And it's something like, I think it's close to 80% across the board, Democrat and Republican combined, all the voters, people that will vote. So there's that. Okay, now the public, so the garden card is our public, and it's also our social media. But it's one of the keywords for the garden. Here, that one I will show you just because it does really drive it home. There's the tower. Here's the garden. So, outside in the public. There you go. And so from there, just think in terms of the public is very concerned. People, and especially younger women, are worried. And it's sometimes all they can think about. The concern card is gloomy and doubtful, and also it's, sometimes the public is ignorant of what's going on. It's also a card of insecurity. So, women, the younger women, feeling very insecure. We can read, even if you don't want to, if you just let go of the houses and read this as a story going across with the Kipper, we are getting a story here, right? Women are down. Women are afraid. Women are feeling helpless. Some are depressed and very, very discouraged. These are all keywords for this card. And then we've already covered the false person in the House of Mountain, but they don't like things that are hidden. They feel like there's a hidden enemy, with the Mountain. Both of these cards here are about hidden obstacles. So, excuse me, where, the younger women are really, really, really concerned. And this does help, for voting. Now, remember, this is our voting card I designated. So us voters, we are very concerned, right? We're very concerned about the letter of the law and the way it's being misinterpreted for people who want it to, read a certain way. They're coming from some of those SCOTUses that want it to read. They want the law to read a certain way that reflects their religious. And again, like I keep saying, what about the separation of church and state? Like, where are these guys coming from? Well, yeah, just wanting to control women. Well, the women know, so that's pretty much all here. But for the future of SCOTUS, like I say, the voters will be successful. I do believe that Congress will enforce, I should say, the congressional statutes to take away, to make any judge recuse. They will be able to make that happen. They will create those laws. Where's the House of Book? Okay, yeah, right here. So the book would be, the laws, okay? And it can sometimes be hidden, but in the context of this situation, it's all about the laws, the letter of the law, and Congress will work on it. They will join together, they will be loyal to the cause, and they will create with the letter, the written word, the text, the document. Here we have the Kipper version of the letter. Here, they have a lot of care going into it, and that is the new strategy, and that's all. They really are thinking about that a lot. Now, to have, let's say, I covered the unexpected income can be, like gifts that you don't expect to give, and it can come in from all different realities or different avenues, I should say, from the public who's concerned. And I think this would be donations to these Congress people, all the congresspersons, male and female, who are standing up for us and fighting for us. And this wealthy man here is my stand-in card for like the younger guys, like I was saying before, Jared Moskowitz and Eric Swalwell and all of them. But it's also a card of ambition. So in the House of Mice, they are trying to, maybe it's from reading from a different angle. Maybe the Congress will try to minimize, because that's a key word for mice, minimize the money that could be taken in. Maybe they'll try to cut it off to like nothing. Maybe they'll create a new law. Maybe Congress will enact a new law and enforce it that says, if you're a judge on the bench, you can't take any gifts. They already do have to disclose everything annually, but somebody's been lying and cheating and stealing wealth. So rules around stealing wealth is what is literally going to be written up. Wow. Okay, and I covered those, so let's keep going down here. I've covered the man, covered the woman, covered the lily, sun. I think we got these. Except for here, okay. So the fish that represents, the abundance and the transactions, and like I said, that train's left the station and it has gone into the coffers of, especially Alito and Thomas. So we know about that, and it's headed towards, despair for these older guys who have been taking advantage of the system and ruining, everything for the divine feminine for women. So we're left over here with the anchor. We did cover the cross, but in the house of anchor, so anchor is all about goals and targets, and it's like gravity, right? So Congress already has a goal to end this, taking of money and filling their coffers. So that's what that's about. That's super easy. Let's see. A painful loss. Yeah. And it's because Congress sees this painful loss that women are going through. They're really motivated. I bet you anything that they are getting and should continue to get. We need to be writing to, even if you're Democratic and your representatives are, they're doing their job, just keep reinforcing that it's all about women's rights and reminding them how much we care about having our right to choose and not have that taken away, because there's this connection up here that will affect the change. These cards are knighting here. But for Congress, the work will be on these places where they're very afraid, that things are going to continue on to just, be stolen and taken away or complicated, coming from SCOTUS. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've covered all of that. Let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, the public is super concerned, and these cards coming together, but I think I talked about that already. Within 1 to 2 years, it'll happen. It'll come together. And especially this card, knighting. Yeah, man, major teamwork, because there really is the public concern, and so I think a lot of people are writing their senators and representatives, and that needs to continue to happen. And write the GOP, write to them as well. Say whatever you want, hey? mail a whole bunch of postcards, like, just they have to receive them, so there's that. They don't have to look at their emails, but they do receive those paper cards that come through. Oh, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and get this uploaded, and we'll fill in the blanks later. And of course, it's going to take quite some time for this to come through, so we'll be talking about it more and more. Okay, bye, you guys. Take good care.